Hey guys, hope y'all doing good today. I'm gonna review the movie Megan because I had to rewatch it for the first time after watching it 3 years ago because I had to refresh my memory for the second movie, and I wanted to do a review of the first movie while watching and reviewing the second movie. Alright, the first movie is pretty good. When I watched it 3 years ago, I thought it was awesome. It was creepy. It had some jump scares. It was funny in certain scenes, a lot of dark humor, and it had this like warning sign plot, not warning sign plot, cautionary tale where like don't let AI get overblown too fast. Be careful with AI because it could backfire and attack you. Similar with Terminator and with the Child's Play remake. Actually, this feels like a remake of the Child's Play remake, except with a female doll instead of a Chucky doll. And this doll is like looks like quote 10-year-old girl, and playing with she's playing with this little girl named Katie, played by Violet McGraw, and Katie's living with her aunt, Gemma, played by Allison Williams, and she lives with Aunt Gemma after her parents die in a car wreck. Aunt Gemma is this robotic scientist at this toy company, and she proposes to make this M3GAN doll, but it messes up during the demonstration, and the boss says no, but after she sees Katie at home playing with this other robot that she built when she was a kid, she decides to give it another try, and she makes a better, more improved M3GAN. Her boss loves it this time, and M3GAN becomes a companion robot for Katie, and they become best friends as if the doll, she acts like the doll's human, she becomes emotionally attached to it, and it provides educational purposes, plays with her a lot, and it also, but it also has a dark side because it's programmed to protect her. It'll go into a violent rage whenever an animal or a person is messing with them. And of course, that she's like, "Oh," Gemma's like, "Have I made a mistake?" But then, things go awry when the doll starts killing innocent victims, but the animal and human. And this is a pretty cool satire on current AI and how kids these days they just want to play with their electronics and watch videos on their tablets and play with electronic toys programmed to play back instead of interacting with real humans the and playing with other kids and playing with real toys. It sucks that most kids are like that these days. It's sad. And I'm just glad I grew up with real toys and stuff like that when I was a kid. And that the cinematography in this movie is excellent. The visual effects on M3GAN, the makeup, the hairstyling, and the CGI in certain areas, they were pretty good. And the kills were pretty creative. The scene where she like rips ears off of someone is pretty intense. And also when I rewatched it, I watched the theatrical version. When I watched it 3 years ago, I watched the unrated version, and even with all the gory details taken out of the theatrical version, it's the kills are still pretty intense, pretty like they do scare you at times. In the final showdown where M3GAN fights both Gemma and the ant, and also the robot, and I mentioned Gemma's old robot I mentioned earlier, that was a pretty cool showdown. Yeah, and the acting by the cast was all great. Allison Williams was great as Gemma, and Violet McGraw was great as Katie. Even though Katie, she's like the spoiled brat for most of the time. I wanted to get away. One thing she throws a temper tantrum in the car and kicks her aunt's seat, and her aunt says, "No, I mean, like, why didn't you just spank her? I mean, she deserved a good spanking, but." I mean, there's one scene where she lost her temper and she hit her aunt, and then she realized what she'd done and she felt bad and apologized. At least she did that eventually. And the little girl who plays Megan, she pulled off a pretty good, pretty good performance. And even though she didn't voice her in the movie, the her voice was dubbed by the soft screen voice actress Jenna Davis, not the Jenna Davis from Thelma and Louise, another Jenna Davis who was like, I think she's like a teenager, and the actress who played the physical M3GAN and did all the stunt. Amy McDonald. She pulled off a pretty good performance. I mean, her mannerisms, her walk, her movements, her like facial expressions, her rage. She pulled off a physical performance pretty well. Although I would have liked to see her actual voice to see if she could really pull off the emotions in the robot's anger and aggression. That would have been a pretty cool performance. Overall, I like this movie for what it is. It's a good 2022 horror sci-fi comedy classic. I give it 2 thumbs up. All right, that's my review. If you like it, please hit the like button, subscribe for more great content. Thank you and God bless. Bye.